Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today for Frequently Asked Questions. And today's topic is traveling to Mexico during COVID. So I have a special guest for you today that we're going to ask, that I have some pre-planned questions that I'm going to ask about her trip to Breathless Cancun in Mexico. She actually just came back in on Monday. So I thought, fresh off the boat, this would be a good opportunity to get her feedback on her experience while traveling during COVID to Mexico. So let me introduce myself. I'm Sandra. I'm the admin for I Do in the Caribbean, and I specialize in helping couples plan their destination wedding in the Caribbean or Mexico without the stress. I'm also a travel advisor, so I can help you plan your trip, whether it's a honeymoon or anniversary trip, I can help you plan that. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Marissa, who is my daughter. So she went to Mexico last week with her girlfriends to celebrate her birthday. So let's bring Marissa on. Hi, Marissa. How are you?
Hello, I am good.
So I just introduced you that you just went on vacation or your birthday trip to Cancun, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to just hear about your experience traveling through Mexico during COVID, and just how your experience was from, leaving here, your pre-book, your pre-planning to when you get to Mexico to your arrival back in the US. So
Okay.
How was your, trip once you plan on going to Mexico, and, what precautions did you take, or what did you do in order to prepare yourself to go there?
Okay, so in Mexico, they don't require a COVID test to enter the country, but you do need a COVID test to enter America. So me and all of my girlfriends, we took tests before going down because we didn't want any surprises. So even though they don't require COVID testing, I would absolutely suggest, make sure that you get yourself tested before you leave the country. So because to get back in, you need a negative result. So you just want to make sure you're not going down there with COVID and then having to get like stuck anywhere. So, we all took tests and we made sure that we had all of our precautionary and like health materials. So like N95 masks to fly with, because they do require masks on the airplanes the entire time. And, just traveling and being around that many people in a closed space, you want to make sure that you do everything in your power to stay safe. So hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes. But we just made sure we packed a whole lot of extra of those, and then we use them around the resort as well. So, you just want to make sure that you're completely prepared for that.
Yeah. And I presume on the airline, because I've been on the airline in December, it's limited service there. They're not, giving you full beverage services or
Yeah,
anything like
no.
that.
No, everything. They just left like a bottle of water and like a snack in every person's in-person seat. I don't think they have that many beverages on the train on the plane itself. I don't think that they have like like the sodas, the juices. They don't go down with the beverage cart at all. We did ask for like extra water, so like I'm sure if you ask for it, you might be able to get something. But they require you to keep your mask on the entire time, so you can like pull your mask down to drink something really quick or eat, but you have to keep your mask on.
Okay. And they didn't do any kind of testing at the airport, anything like that. They just check your passport and all your. Did they fill out a health document before you got on the plane, or for the
I
Mexico?
don't remember filling out a health document before going on the plane. They do test your like temperature and everything.
Okay.
Before like going through the airport, they have like different temperature scans. But I don't remember a health form to go
Okay.
down to Mexico. No.
Okay. So once you got to Mexico off the plane, how was it at the airport there, going through security?
Getting off the plane in Mexico was totally fine. They require you to, while you're in the airport, you're required to wear a mask. Like if you're not wearing one, they will tell you to put it back on. And then thankfully, with the what we booked, there was already a transfer from the airport booked into our package. So it's literally we just walked right through the airport, and security was super quick, and so was like immigration going into Mexico. So we just walked right through and found where we needed to go, and that was it. On the shuttle itself, we shared it with one other couple, and everyone stayed masked up on there, and all the shuttle operators, like all the workers in the airport, are all fully like social distancing and masked up. So I felt just as safe as you would walking around New York City.
Okay. And now when you got to the airport, how was that? How did you feel when you got to, sorry, the to Breathless Cancun?
to Breathless. So all of the employees there are wearing masks, which is great. It made me feel a little more safe. And then they, while we're checking in, they give you their entire COVID protocol, like as you know, as with all the preliminary questions and like all the different things. So what they do and what they require is um, they don't require their what is the word? They don't require the guests to wear a mask while like going around the resort. But they do require them in any enclosed spaces. So if you decide that you want to go to the spa or the gift shop or anything like that, you would have to put a mask on. And in the restaurants themselves, while you are walking around any enclosed spaces, you have to have your mask on. But since everything is very open and they like we're not super crowded, then like there was people that were walking around with and without masks. So it kind of just depends.
Okay, so you felt safe in the resort based on their
Yeah,
protocol, that they had all the good protocols in place?
absolutely. And like their cleaning protocols were like amazing. Like they sprayed everything, always spray everything down, like wipe it down. They offer you any type of sanitary equipment that you may need. So even though like there were people walking around without masks on, it was such an open um like resort, and there were so many like open air things. So even like they don't have like their club is not open. They have an open air club. So they turn like their one of their outside areas into like their party area. So even then, like and you know, people try to stay as far away from each other as possible. So I felt safe.
Okay, because that's the question I was going to ask. A lot of clubs. I mean, this is a Breathless is a more party like
Hmm.
atmosphere. So because they had indoor clubs, they closed that and kept everything and all the entertainment outdoors.
Right.
So
All
it
the
was more
entertainment was
social
outdoor.
distancing and open.
Right. Yeah. Everything was outdoor. They built little stages and stuff outside for to put their shows on. And then even like the pool parties and stuff. Um, they encourage people to social distance a little bit, but it's not the same. It's a lot safer than you thought, like that I thought it was going to be, because I'm like, all these people in the pool with no mask on, how is this going to work? But they kept it pretty like safe, and everything is outdoors, so I felt a lot more comfortable.
Okay, let's talk about your room. You
Mhm.
picked a swim out room. Is there a reason
Yes.
why you picked that room, and how did you experience? How was the experience having that swim out room?
Yeah, so I picked a swim out room because I didn't know how the other guests were going to be at the resort, because even if all the employees follow all their standards, if there are people who want to be close to you, and with no mask on, I wanted the option of having our own private area. So the swim out room worked perfectly for us because you can literally get everything you want in that. So like you have your pool to yourself. So you can order drinks, and then like even the pool attendants will come over to your room and ask if you want anything to drink. And then we were lucky enough to have a restaurant like literally right outside of our room. So we would like go grab breakfast and lunch there and like just hang out in our room for the daytime. And then at night we'll like walk around, go to some of the entertainment, go to the restaurants and that sort of thing.
Okay, so your room was pretty. I mean, your room was in a great location, and also it
Hmm.
was private enough. You didn't miss any of the amenities because drinks were
No,
there. You can order
drinks
room
were,
service 24/7. So that was a
yeah,
good plus to being there, that you could like control who you're with, but still
exactly.
get use of the resort.
Yeah, we even
What
went to
about
one of the public pools like one of the days, and we were just
Mhm.
like, you know what, this is the exact same thing that we can get in our room.
Okay. Did you ever go to the beach?
We did go to the beach. We didn't spend a lot of time on the beach. That I feel like that's like the one like drawback of this hotel is that their beach is not like their main like attraction, if that makes
Okay.
sense. But I was with a bunch of girls who like beach is not really their thing anyways, and it isn't for me. So like swim out pool for me beats any beach.
That is me too. I like that. I like complete access when I want access. So
Right.
having the beach, I mean the pool right outside your room, you can go anytime you want with no
Exactly.
crowd. Right. And how about the food? How do you rate the food you got there at Breathless?
The food is a 10 out of 10. I didn't have one bad thing at Breathless. I was genuinely surprised as well because sometimes, resorts, especially when they're like cranking out a lot of food all at once, like, you don't know
Mhm.
what the quality is going to be like. I would go back to Breakfast again just for the food specifically. The food
Was
was
that good?
absolutely delicious. A huge variety. They had tons of different restaurants that all served different things. Like you weren't going to find the same thing on any one menu, which is great too. The only like I would say that the only thing that they limit a lot is the room service menu. Like you can only get like a handful of things on there, and you also
Mhm.
can't order alcohol through room service. So you do have to leave the room to go and get any like beverages. But no, the food was 10 out of 10.
Did you have a refrigerator in your room that was stocked with like
Mhm.
sodas or?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
there's a refrigerator, mini bar in your room. There's a couple of snacks in there. They restock it every single day. They also come by during the day to ask if you want like extra waters and stuff because it is warm. So they always stop by to ask if you want some extra waters or if you ever wanted like room service to be restocked, they'll just come right in and restock it.
Okay. And I guess the other question was asked, since you need a COVID test to re-enter the US, how did they organize you getting a COVID test while you were there at the resort?
So during check-in, that's part of like the COVID guidelines that they let you know is that you do need to schedule a test to go back into the US, and they do the testing on site. So you just need to make sure that your test is scheduled at least 3 days prior to leaving. So since people
Mhm.
in my party were leaving different days, one of the girls did it on well, one of the rooms like that had the girl that was leaving early did it on the Saturday that we were there, and then me and the other friend that I was with did it on the Sunday, and they accepted all the papers. It's no issue. We decided to go and schedule them the very first day because the earlier the better,
Mhm.
because the slots will fill up. So we right after checking in and like settling down, they have like a 2 hour time that you can go and like wait online to schedule your test for. And then once they're scheduled, you're good to go until you have to come back, bring your passport, and then there's a medical team there that does it for you. So it makes it super seamless and easy. And I like that they gave it to me like right at check-in. We didn't have to ask about it. It's like part of
Okay.
the guidelines that they go over with you, and then they tell you where everything is. So whenever you want to go and schedule it, you go and schedule it.
And there was no additional cost for that?
No, no additional cost.
No. Okay. So far, I mean, based on what you're telling me, you seem like you had a very good birthday celebration.
Yes.
So overall, like what is your, as you had mentioned before that you'd actually go back to Breathless. Is there specific things that you feel that were, definitely my type of vibe resort that makes you want to go back again?
For me, I feel like it's food and drinks always. You want to make sure like that's always one of the top things because why am I
Mhm.
going to pay all this money and go all inclusive if the food and the drinks aren't amazing? So without that, the service at Breathless was like one of the best resorts I've ever been to. Every single person is extremely helpful, ready to like help and serve in any way that they can, and they really go above and beyond for the guests there. Like I was telling one of our friends when we got back, it's like we just felt super special there. Everyone started to get to know us, and you see the same people every single day because so they start to get to know your names and they know why I'm here because they know it's my birthday, so they're always like, you know, going above and beyond. And I mean, I can only speak on my experience. I don't know how every
Mhm.
single guest felt there, but I felt that like we were getting like almost special treatment, and that's how it made everyone feel.
That is good. And thank you so much, Marissa. I know you're on your lunch break, but it was so
Yes, I
nice to
gotta go
hear
back to
from you.
work.
Yes. I mean, I just wanted to let people know who are ready to travel that you can travel and the resorts are taking the proper precaution to make
Yeah.
sure that the guests feel safe when they get there. And
Hmm.
I just want to give an opinion from someone who has traveled so you can hear firsthand what they went through, how they felt when they got to resort, and just so you can feel comfortable. But until you're ready to travel, it's really up to you. It's your own
Right.
personal choice as to when you're comfortable traveling. But people are traveling, and this is information I'm giving you from a client that just traveled and to give you their travel experience. So thank you so much,
Only
Marissa, for being here.
Of course. The only thing that I would say that is different traveling now than traveling before is that 3 hours that you need to get out of an international airport, you absolutely need it because
You need
traveling
it?
back, you absolutely need it. Because traveling back, they do not print out your boarding pass until you show them a negative COVID result.
Oh,
So you can check
mhm.
in online, but you can't get your boarding pass online. So I know that at least for Mexico, like you need to go to the airport and actually speak to like a gate, like an agent there, and the month they take the COVID test results and it's from an authorized like person you got it from, then they'll give you the boarding pass. But since everyone has to do that, those lines are crazy. So
Oh,
if you
wow.
do decide to travel, it's totally safe to do so, but you just need to know that like you need to give yourself the amount of time that you need to get through all the precautions that are now in
That,
place.
yeah, that is definitely good to know because I didn't realize that. Because when
Hmm.
I guess we didn't need a COVID test coming back when I
Right.
traveled in December, but now you do. So
Now you do.
if people are going back, they need that 3 hour window to
Absolutely.
make sure you have your COVID, test results before they give you a boarding pass. Really is what
Right.
they're doing. Right. Okay.
Right.
So
And have
that
everything
is.
printed out. Like, even though you can get on your phone, like I have an email on my phone, like you never
Mhm.
know what can go wrong. Like,
Yeah.
and you need to have like that printed and a bunch of other forms printed as well, or like at least
Okay.
on your phone. Have everything printed at the
So
resort.
they so did they give you a printed copy of your results on the property when
I
they did
did.
the
I
COVID
asked for
test?
it. I asked
Okay.
for it because they give it to you in an email, and then they said, and the
Mhm.
email is fine. I saw other people check in with their emails, and it was fine. But you never know what can happen. Your phone could drop in the water on the way to the airport, you know. So and
Yeah.
just like you would have your passport, just have everything printed in an envelope to go. So that way everything's in one place, and you're like all set when you get to the airport.
Okay, well, thank you for that tip. And I will let all
Of
my
course.
guests know when they travel that they need that 3 hour window when they get to the
Yes.
airport to come back, because you have to go through that protocol of showing
Right.
your negative COVID test and going through security. So,
Right.
as I said, thank you so much for taking the time to talk
Of
about the
course.
travel experience.
No
And I
problem.
hope you're going to be traveling soon.
Hey,
Jamaica,
maybe.
August.
Yes. I'm out of here.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Marissa.
No problem. Talk to you
Okay.
later.
And that again is Marissa Morris. She had traveled to Breathless Cancun last week, and she was giving you her travel experience. And the one takeaway I actually got from here, what she's saying, that she felt safe traveling, and also the hotel had very good protocol in place. Also, she found that Breathless Cancun Riviera also had very good customer service and very good food. And that's coming from someone that I know is very particular about our food. So the one tip I would say for people traveling to Mexico and returning is that they say you should be at the airport 3 hours in advance. You need that 3 hours to go through security, because they're going to check your negative COVID test, and you can't get a boarding pass until that is confirmed. So you need the time. There's going to be a lot of long wait in time at the airport. So please be there in that 3 hour window. So that was my frequently asked questions today. And if you have any other questions on traveling, or on resorts within Mexico or anywhere, planning a destination wedding, please leave me a comment. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Until then, I will see you next week for more frequently asked questions. Bye.